Hey, what's going on, guys? Today, as a reminder, I am not in the building with you guys, but I wanted to make sure that we had a chance to take notes. So just like yesterday, we're going to take some notes, but this time we're going to take notes on Article 2. All right, missing work, get it into me. Peer evaluations, we're not going to do today because I'm not here. Remember, we set a hard deadline on Monday, and that will be a graded assignment. Participation graded, so bring something to evaluate with a peer. All right, and I'll be back Monday. I'll see you guys then. All right, the Constitution of the United States is set up in a couple different ways. We talked about the preamble on on Tuesday. The preamble is an introduction to the Constitution. We talked about Article 1 yesterday. Article 1 describes the legislative powers of the government, and today we're going to talk about Article 2. Article 2 establishes the executive branch of our government. It includes the president. All right, so what we see with that, just notes like yesterday. Article 2, getting going. All right, we see the enforcement of law as part of it. So the executive power is invested in what is known as the President of the United States of America. You may see it represented as POTUS, P-O-T-U-S, President of the United States. Anyways, that's kind of one thing that's there, right? The president is elected every 4 years with a vice president on the ticket. So you vote for two people. In the past, you didn't always vote for two people. In the past, you would take your lead vote getter as president and your second place finisher as vice president. So there's a lot of times there's a lot of conflict in the White House. But what you see now is you see that, when Barack Obama declared he was going to run with Joe Biden. And that's kind of what it is. And it's what you guys will see as we approach 2016 is presidential candidates choosing vice presidential nominees as well to go with them. And that's what you start to kind of see happening with that. And you vote for a ticket. Now that's really important because with the vice president, what you can see is the vice president in a snap moment become president of the United States. And it's important that you guys have the opportunity to elect a set of people to lead our country. In order to be president, you must be 35 years old, a natural-born citizen of the United States, and have resided in the U.S. for the last 14 years. All right? If you have not done those, you cannot be president. That's what it comes down to. One of the most interesting phrases there is natural-born citizen. I want you guys to think about what that means. All right? It's not really defined very well on what it is, which makes it very difficult. And we saw this with the birther argument of Obama. A lot of critics of Obama have taken a look and wanted to know, was he born in Hawaii? Was he born in Kenya? Get down. Sorry about that. My cat just jumped on the computer. Anyways, where was it from? All right. President must take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, and that's a very important oath that president must take. After that, we'll see the president can be impeached for treason, misdemeanors, or other high crimes as it's written. What are misdemeanors and other high crimes? That's a very important question that needs to be defined. Again, the Constitution is a living document that is interpreted on a yearly basis. Some of the powers of the executive branch is they are the commander-in-chief of our military. They are in charge of our military. They must, they have the power to pardon people or forgive people if they have created things. They can create treaties if the Senate agrees, not the House, just the Senate. Right? They get to nominate and appoint the following positions: judges, ambassadors, and department heads. And that's really what the president has the power to do. All right? And it really brings into question who's more powerful, the Senate and Congress, right? The Senate, the House of Representatives as Congress, or the president and his cabinet. And it's a big debate. And there's the third branch that's also involved because Article 3 creates them as well. Who is the most powerful? Start thinking about that because you guys are going to have to tell me a little bit about that as we kind of get going. All right? So up next, all right, the last thing the president can do is enforce laws. Up next, here we go, ready? Oh, this is way out of order. All right, the executive power must also give a State of the Union address to the joint session of Congress at various times, and that's what you start to kind of see being put into place, and there's kind of a lot of debate about that a lot of times. All right, Article 3 is up next. Again, if we have missing work, make sure you guys get it in. Peer evaluations will be on Monday when I return to the classroom. All right, so kind of continue with this. We see the organization. The preamble, again, is the introduction. Article 1 tells us about the legislative branch. All right, Article 2. Article 2 informs us about the executive branch, and today we're going to talk about Article 3. And Article 3 establishes the judicial branch of the government. All right, not a lot there in Article 3. It's only 3 sections of it. It's not a whole lot, but Article 3 establishes the judicial branch of our government. The judiciary power is the Supreme Court of the United States, or SCOTUS, go figure, the Supreme Court of the United States, and our United States court system. All right. All right. Judges are appointed by the president. All right. And when they're appointed by the president, what they're given is a basically lifetime term. They must be approved by the Senate, and if they have good behavior, they can serve for life and collect a salary. All right, so it's kind of a cool thing to be a judge. You don't really have to worry about it, but the judges don't have a lot of power, so they get to hear cases that arise under the Constitution. They get to hear cases that deal with the laws of treaties. They get to hear cases between citizens or states, between citizens of two states or between two states, and they preside over the impeachment of a president. All right, and they can also hear cases of treason and have set guidelines for that. Really, according to Article 3, this is all the Constitution does. Now, what we're going to talk about when we get there, and we talk about the judiciary powers, we're going to talk about the power of constitutional review, which was established in a Supreme Court case in 1803 called Marbury versus Madison. All right, but until then, this is what the Supreme Court does. This is Article 3 of our Constitution. Again, there's a couple questions on the back of each sheet I want you guys to take a look at and answer. All right, again, pause the video as needed if you want to take these notes, and make sure that we are good to go on Monday with our peer evaluations. Have a great weekend, guys. All right, take care.